We know that housing prices have been coming off for a few months now, and ANZ's new updated housing forecast is that we will see about a 15 to 20% price decline from the peak of housing in April of this year to the end of 2023. Once we hit 2024, we'll have seen enough wage increases and a little bit of an easing in mortgage rates, which together will create a 5% increase in housing prices through that year. Now, the decline in housing prices that we're seeing at the moment and that we'll continue to see for the next 18 months is really more about borrowing capacity than it is about distress. It's not that we expect to see a lot of houses coming up for sale because of people not being able to afford their mortgages. It's really more about walking into, a bank or a financial institution or a broker and not being able to borrow as much because interest rates are higher and also because the prices of essential goods and services are higher as well. What we're seeing now that interest rates are rising is that while people are still looking to buy property, there's lots of people out there with jobs and pay rises. When they do go in for those loans, they can't borrow as much as they used to. So that means that every single person at an auction has a lower maximum price, and every single person looking in the property market can't spend quite as much on that loan. Sydney and Melbourne housing prices have been falling for a few months now, and when we look over the 2023 forecast period, we do see Sydney and Melbourne being among the worst performers. People too tend to maximise their borrowing capacity more often in Sydney and Melbourne because housing prices are more expensive. When we look at other large cities in Australia like Brisbane, Adelaide and Perth, housing prices are likely to be more expensive at the end of this year than they were at the beginning. But we do see some falls ahead in those cities as well. This time around, when the Reserve Bank's increasing the cash rate, it's having a different impact on households than it has before. And that's because of all those fixed rate mortgages that were super cheap in 2020 and 2021. As they start to roll off, which will happen mostly between June 2023 and June 2024, that's when we're really going to start to see the household cash flow impacts of these rate rises. And that's also where we're going to see a lot more of the risk when it comes to arrears and people falling a little bit behind. For now, though, the people with the most debt are also the people with the biggest offset balances, which cushions some of the falls in housing prices and reduces the risk that people will put up their house for sale due to those rising interest rates.